We are Group 7 and the company assigned to us is Otto Group Company. Our case study would be the negative impact of greenwashing accusations towards the Otto Group Company.
So good day everyone. I am about to talk about the Otto group of companies. So Werner Otto developed Otto Versand in 1994 and started this first as a shoe company in Germany. Otto started from simple ventures, property acquisitions, then slowly turned to furniture, logistics, and hardware equipment. This led to Otto Group becoming a huge mail-based company in Germany which specializes in catalog retailing. The Otto Group is now known as a global retail group which has its headquarters posted at Hamburg, Germany. For our recommended plan of action in this case study, sustainable business strategy is the company's act to simultaneously solve the world's biggest challenges while continuously thriving. When developing a sustainability strategy, the first and most important step is to create a compelling business case for sustainability. Companies typically confront tensions at this stage between sustainability and competitiveness, two issues that have previously been considered as diametrically opposed.
We move on to the initial findings for the Otto Group Company, which is a statement of the problem, greenwashing accusations, and how the company should address the issue. The Otto Group Company is one of the several enterprises that have been accused of greenwashing in relation to their attempts of being sustainable, published in their Otto Group Sustainability magazine. The issue here lies in the misconception of implementing a more sustainable business management approach. Simply rebranding your enterprise or company in a greener perspective without contributing impactful services to the cause will do more harm than good, and given the range of larger companies, this is an issue that should be addressed the same way environmental issues are. We dive deeper in the sub-problems that can be encountered based on the assigned company's current situation. The practice of greenwashing can leave companies susceptible to continuing alleged unsustainable practices that are not gaining attention due to the environment being presented through means of greenwashing. Secondly, as discussed previously in the study, one of the main motives of portraying one's company in a more sustainable and environmentally conscious light motivates consumers to further support the company without knowledge of its alleged greenwashing and unsustainable practices, which can be considered unethical. Lastly, from the sub-problems, greenwashing has a greater societal cost that other deceptive marketing practices do not. It not only affects consumers and companies, but the environment as a whole. Ultimately, greenwashing threatens the progress of real improvements to sustainability. Moving on to the cause of the problem, one of the main root causes of the greenwashing issue is the competitive advantage that can possibly be gained by doing so. While green marketing can help consumers make better informed product choices, it is also a strong marketing tool for companies to create product differentiation based on sustainability-related positioning. Additionally, poor proper implementation, research, and development are discovered to also be the cause of the problem. When the sustainability approach is only done with the sole purpose of gaining market advantage and not developing proper environmental solutions and contributions, this is considered as unethical and immoral. Not only will this damage the company's established brand image, but it also has underlying issues such as worsening the current environmental status of the world.
For the decision criteria, some of the criteria used to evaluate alternative solution are as follows. First is the time for implementation. We are estimating the time required necessary to implement the proposed solution as well as its effectiveness. Second is the lifespan and durability, the availability of the solution to withstand future issues. Last is the cost, the increased ongoing cost in business operations due to overhead cost, as well as the required amount of money needed to perform the solution. So the first alternative solution we have is to be transparent and honest about your promises. According to the Green Business Bureau of 2019, in the green business world, transparency is crucial. Whatever product you're promoting, make sure all of your claims are backed up with clear, irrefutable evidence. When there is a lack of information, there is a lack of trust. Greenwashing's main threat is fooling your customers and losing their trust in the process. Dove 2020 stated that by displaying your commitments, you should also be able to identify your flaws. After all, achieving transparency in a company's internal communications is difficult enough, let alone in what you tell your customers. People will appreciate you for being honest and realistic about your pledges, and you will prevent disappointments this way. For the second alternative solution we have is the use of Global Reporting Initiative or GRI standards. So 80% of the world's 250 largest organizations use the GRI standards, which are all encompassing, comprehensive, organized, rigorous, and highly flexible approach. The GRI standards will walk you through every step of the process of identifying and implementing the important decisions. Most importantly, detailed standards and guidelines are offered, allowing you to begin taking steps to reduce negative impacts not only within your firm, but also within your supplier chain. The framework also allows readers to compare performances among firms, removing many NGOs and investors' concern regarding accuracy and reliability. The GRI provides enterprises with a benchmark, as well as assurance providers with a defined framework to ensure against. When the GRI gains wider recognition, it will provide the concreteness that assurers require to deliver consistent assurance claims. In contrast, however, the GRI framework implies some amount of extended accountability across the supply chain. Where an organization decides to put the boundary to that obligation is mainly left up to the particular company. Although they urge that a corporation work closely with stakeholders to define suitable reporting boundaries for their broader footprint, non-company operations receive less attention. Furthermore, while the GRI is gaining more recognition and support, it still falls short of the economies of scale required to obtain widespread acceptance. For our last alternative solution we have is to undertake sustainable business strategy. The integration of economic, environmental, and social goals into a firm's goals, actions, and planning with the goal of providing long-term value for the firm, its stakeholders, and a wider community is known as a sustainable business strategy. The first and most important step is to create a compelling business case for sustainability. Next is to identify and prioritize associated risk and opportunities across marketplace. The next step entails creating proactive targets and goals, as well as collaborating with others to drive long-term corporate innovation. The next stage is to choose the appropriate metrics for tracking the sustainability strategy's progress in order to know if you have achieved your goals. Lastly, in any sustainability strategy, communication is crucial. Some advantages of sustainability business strategies include increased efficiency and lead to cost savings, and also increase in profits in the short term or long term. It also increases brand equity value and reputation. Sustainability business strategy also reduce negative environmental impact and non-renewable or scarce resource depletion. However, sustainability business strategy may also increase some labor cost and labor intensity, as well as capital cost and overall cost. Lastly, it may be making slow progress in markets, industries, and geographical regions where there is little awareness of sustainability.
The recommended solution, implementation, and justification. Sustainable business strategy is the company's act to simultaneously solve the world's biggest challenges while continuously thriving. With Otto Group's increasing number of accusations of greenwashing from general society, the organization can use sustainable business strategy as soon as the company's circumstance permits, both upstream with the supply chain and downstream with the context of intensive stakeholder dialogues. This helps provide an authentic, sustainable reputation as well as boosts profit. When developing a sustainability strategy, the first and most important step is to create a compelling business case for sustainability. Companies typically confront tension at this stage between sustainability and competitiveness, two issues that have previously been considered as diametrically opposed. The next stage is to identify and prioritize associated risks and opportunities across marketplaces. The third step entails creating proactive targets and goals, as well as collaborating with others to drive long-term corporate innovations. The last stage is to choose the appropriate metrics for tracking the sustainability strategy's progress in order to know if you have achieved your goals. Lastly, in any sustainability strategy, communication is crucial. Brands that share their findings and lessons learned both internally and outside are seen as more transparent. As claimed by Wilson, the concept of sustainable development that was first popularized in 1987 in Our Common Future, a book published by the World Commission for Environment and Development, was described as a development that met the needs of present generations without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Or, as described in the book, it is a process of change in which the exploitation of resources, the direction of investment, the orientation of technological development, and institutional change are all in harmony and enhance both current and future potential to meet human needs and aspirations. The concept of sustainable development supports in the recommended solution and provides reference as to why it would perform well, because it entails that the act of Otto Group is in executing a sustainable business strategy can provide long-term value for the firm, its stakeholders, and the wider community. Contingency plan. To have risk management, a contingency plan must also be planned and taken into account. This is to allow the organization to return to its customary operation if the recommended solution ceases to give rise to favorable outcomes. The use of Global Reporting Initiative standards is another way to adhere to Otto Group's problem. According to Global Reporting Initiative, the GRI standards enable any organization to understand and report on their impacts on the economy, environment, and people in a comparable and credible way, thereby increasing transparency and their contribution to sustainable development. In addition to reporting companies, the standards are highly relevant to many stakeholders, including investors, policymakers, capital markets, and civil society. The GRI standard will walk you through every step of the process of identifying and implementing the important decisions. Most importantly, detailed standards and guidelines are offered, allowing you to begin taking steps to reduce negative impacts not only within your firm, but also within your supplier chains. The GRI provides enterprises with a benchmark, as well as assurance providers with a defined framework to ensure against. According to legitimacy theory, companies disclose social responsibility information to present a socially responsible image so they can legitimize their behavior to their stakeholder groups. Legitimacy theory is based on the idea that a social contract exists between business and society. Legitimacy theory posits that organizations continually seek to ensure that they operate within the bounds and norms of their respective societies. The social contract is used to represent the myriad expectations society has about how an organization should conduct its operations.